You think there is a political conspiracy at play in the revelation of this syndicate juicing?
We think there is a political inefficiency and a complete injustice to the people who were taken advantage of in such a way. This individual, as you've seen the timeline, converted to Islam. Then there was a social welfare department person who was providing him with lists, and he's taken advantage of the really especially abled people. So the Samajwadi Party would like to know, and you've talked of certain money coming into their account from outside. That's really serious. SCRA is a law. Exemptions are granted by a centrally controlled department. The ATS has arrested. The Samajwadi Party would like this case to be taken to the logical conclusion as soon as possible.
Muhammad Umar Gautam and the other gentleman, Mr. Kazim Jahangir, Mufti Kazim Jahangir. These people have actually admitted now that apparently close to 1,000 people were forcibly coerced into conversion into Islam by the duo.
Yeah.
So point number one, you have these so-called accused at this stage, because the probe is still underway, who have prima facie admitted to being involved in a forced conversion racket. Point number two, I would like to say one thing. If you look at the opposition track record, Shiv, unfortunately during the Hathras incident, there was so much of politicking. But as recently as April 2021, be it the NIA, be it other central government agencies, they have shown proof. There's a 5,000-page charge sheet which says that even the alleged Hathras incident had involvement of PFI, with more than 72 PFI bank accounts being put into action to ensure that the accused, Danish, Alam, Firoz, Rauf Sharif, Siddiqui Kappan, etc., were properly funded to give and execute, the entire communal twist to the incident.
Any conversion which is forceful or by allurement or coercion, etc., is neither allowed by our law of the land, nor it is allowed by the law of Islam.
Yes.
Both way it is not allowed, nor it is admissible in Islam to convert anybody by force or by money or by allurement, etc., etc. So this is out of question, and we cannot debate, we need not need to debate this aspect at all. If somebody does such an act, it is a crime and it must be tried in the court and punished the stringent possible, whatever the punishment.
Delta Plus increases transmissibility, stronger binding to receptors of lung cells, and potential reduction in monoclonal antibody response. Am I to understand that this is potentially more deadly than the original Delta variant that hit the country in March, April, sir?
Two key variants of concern have sort of come together. Whether this combination is going to remain neutral, or it is going to become additive, or it is going to become more than the sum of parts, remains to be studied. So everything else at this point without evidence is simply hypothesis.
I think we should just bear a couple of general points in mind. And the first is that in general, as these variants have emerged, vaccines have helped still to prevent severe disease. And that's a very important point. But the second general point, while we're all focused on vaccinations, and they are obviously absolutely central to managing this pandemic, we mustn't forget the other tools in the toolkit. So we have got, other ways to reduce the risk of infection and spread. And we mustn't take our eye off that ball either. So let's think about, masks, let's think about spacing, and let us now also come back, please, and consider the value of testing in limiting variants.
One thing is very clear-cut, that this is appearing to be a homegrown strain, and one thing is also there, that this probably may not be a Delta plus, but maybe a Delta minus, but we need more data. Without this data to raise off an overhyped alarm may be a little alarmist. At the same time, we can't be off guard, because we are seeing a very dramatic result in the metros, where people have stopped masking, people have started crowding, congregations are happening, crowd clusters are happening, which is very detrimental to public health. So having said that, we need to keep our genomic surveillance, regressive testing in place, but there is no complacency from COVID appropriate behavior or protocols.
Money and fear used to lure hearing and speech impaired people and convert them to Islam. Poor women forcibly converted. This clearly cannot be accepted, and the law must be permitted to take its own course, sir.
The UPND conversion law says that there shouldn't be any forceful conversions.
Okay.
The same thing I will point out in the Quran, Surah 10, verse 99, Gaurav. Had your Lord so wished, all people everywhere would have been believers. But that is not his way. Hence, do not force anyone. Do not force anyone.
So you will have no problem, sir.
Unless they do so willingly.
So you will have no problem
there.
if these accused
Gaurav,
are put behind bars. You will have no problems with it. Because there are victims who are saying it was coerced.
100%,
They were coerced.
The first thing, opposition, particularly Samajwadi Party and Congress,
Okay.
and other fanatics should accept that this is a good action, this is a well-defined action, and this kind of forced conversion should be stopped, and the UP law is very good and it should be implemented.
In February, the parliament was told by this very government that there is no nationwide anti-conversion law planned. The centre told in the parliament, which means the centre has never seen a risk. It said the state has to do it. Just today, Allahabad High Court has issued a notice on plea challenging the Uttar Pradesh Love Jihad Act. Adityanath did not climb the ladders of politics preaching harmony. He did not have cases of preaching harmony against him. He had more cases against him, charges against him when he became chief minister than what you and I together have mark sheets with us.
It is in national interest to get to the jugulars of all these accused, subject them to narco analysis, lie detector test, identify all those. I'm given to understand that there are those some in the Lok Sabha and in the bureaucracy who are complicit with them. They need to be named and shamed. I wish you had brought their names, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, day after, they will be named and shamed. And everyone, whether in the IAS or the IPS or politics, wherever, he has to be brought out and exposed.